Hey family, I hope you guys are doing well this Easter week. I just wanted to update you guys on some really exciting news with some of the ministry work that I've been doing and also with some potential future plans as well. Firstly, the first mission I went on as a student with ACA it was a local church mission with a church in Walsall, which is in northern England, somewhere in the middle. If you look at a map of England, it's like this is England and Walsall is somewhere in there. And a very economically deprived area, very poor area, huge traveler community there as well. So some crime, quite a bit of crime that happens in that area as well. And we just had an incredible time of mission there, an incredible week there, just supporting the local churches in that area, helping them out, giving just an infusion of life and encouragement and evangelism into that area, which is really cool. And one of the opportunities that we had as a team there was going into some of the local elementary schools and doing RE lessons, or religious education lessons, for the elementary schoolers there. And everywhere we went, whether the schools were associated with the church or not, the children were just so receptive. The staff was so receptive of us. Everywhere we went, I think we went to 5 different schools in total, 5 separate teams, went to 5 different schools, and we had a standing invitation from every single one to come again, which was incredible. And a couple weeks ago, in one of our lecture times, our mission leader had given us an update on some exciting things that had happened in Walsall since we had been there. One of them being that the church, so the school that my team went to was Christ Church Elementary School. It's associated with the church but isn't necessarily Christian. And we did a couple of days of religious education lessons with them. And we also did this thing called Messy Church on Friday night, which is just a time for us to kind of do a Bible lesson with the kids, but have arts and crafts and do things in a little bit more of an informal way with the kids, just to get them engaged with the lesson more. And Frog, our mission leader, the name has a story behind it that I will maybe tell at some point, but he was explaining to us that in the Christ Church school, us coming there was just such a positive impact on that community. And what is happening as a result is they are having church in the school on Sundays once a month now, with the intention of increasing the frequency to twice a month and eventually every week, which is an amazing just testament of God's work and how just an amazing work that God is doing there in Walsall, in a place that is just so desolate and so hopeless. There's the light of Christ is shining in that dark place. And so it was just so encouraging to hear that. I wanted to share that with you guys, just to celebrate with me all that God is doing, even after the week that we were there in November, that work is still going on and being carried out in the Walsall area with the local churches, with another local church being born, which is awesome. The other thing I wanted to update you guys on was Reboot Belfast. So I had the opportunity a week or two ago to participate in this event that RZIM runs called Reboot, which is basically a day of apologetics training for middle school and high school students, so aged between 11 and 18. And they host it in a variety of different places. They have it in London every year, I think in Edinburgh, Scotland. This year was their second year there, but this is the first year that they were going to Belfast in Northern Ireland. So I was able to be part of that team pioneering Reboot in the Belfast area, which was awesome. And we were there Friday to Sunday. The event was on Saturday, all day Saturday. So it was a long day on Friday, traveling and going to help with setup and then going right into the event on Saturday. But so worth it. We had almost 500 students attending the event, so we were all crammed into this pretty smallish venue. But it was just incredible with all the conversations that we had with the students, how engaged they were with each of the sessions, how they were asking. I mean, the biggest thing about this conference is that they encourage students to ask questions. No question is off limits for them. And so it was amazing. So we would have Q&A sessions after every talk, and the students were super engaged with submitting their questions, asking their questions. They had a general Q&A time as well, and then during the breaks we had these little balloon stations where ACA students like myself and some of the speakers that from that day were able to just come up and ask us any questions if they felt kind of embarrassed to ask them during the sessions. So I had some great conversations with some girls, and at the end of the day we had a time to pray over them, for those that wish to commit their lives to Christ for the first time, a recommitment, or for those that wanted to stand up and be a witness for Christ in their schools. And I just was able to pray for and commission so many young women to do that, which was amazing to be part of. And so that happened a few weeks ago in Belfast. The other thing I will say about that was I was able to kind of help out with inputting all the information from the feedback cards that we got. So out of the 300 we had, or out of the 500 people we had 200 response cards that I was able to just read through and input the information, and it was just amazing to read. Every single one of those 200 cards had something positive to say in the comment section, just whether it was sharing how all their questions were answered and they feel more confident in sharing their faith now, or just personal stories of how God really met them that day. It was just so incredible to read all that feedback and just seeing how God was working through that event in Belfast. And everybody wanted us to come again next year, so hopefully that will be the case. So just really awesome praise reports there that I wanted to share with you guys. The last thing I wanted to say was just asking for your prayer, because I have decided I have already applied for 2 more years of study here to continue with my master's. So the program is called an MTH in Applied Theology, which basically just means a master's in Applied Theology. What is Applied Theology? Great question. It is where we explore how to apply theology, but in more culturally relevant and present circumstances. And it takes on a variety of forms. The way that Oxford works in terms of its programs in general is very much just very much putting the onus on the student to develop their own path of study and their own just developing their own, whatever interest that they have in whatever specific area of study, giving a very, very general structure of how to do that, and then really putting it on the student to do the research, which is the format that is going to be followed with this program should I be accepted. So my focus would be in the realm of it's called pastoral psychology is what the track is called, but I would be focusing specifically on how theology and psychology can inform one another, just to help see how we as a church can grow and knowing how to better counsel people that have gone through traumatic experiences, that are just going through life, battling with depression, anxiety, anything along that spectrum, just mental health, emotional health, that kind of thing, and seeing how the Bible can inform us on how to counsel people, but also how psychology can also help assist in that as well. So your prayers would be appreciated that God's will would be done. I am excited at the prospect of being here another 2 years, but also just as excited at the prospect of potentially going back to the States and continuing ministry there, whether that be immediately after I finish this course in June, or, you know, delayed 2 years after I finished my master's. So, really exciting things. I cannot believe that I'm in the home stretch of this program. Like, it is unbelievable to think about that I have about a few more weeks of break here, and then 8 more weeks of term, and then that's it, which is crazy to think about. So your prayers are much appreciated. And yeah, I'm just really thankful for all that God has done, all that He has been teaching me, and just passions that He's been growing in me for evangelism and wanting and apologetics, obviously, and just my heart to really bring that passion and excitement and knowledge to the local church wherever God places me. So I'm really excited, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I hope you're doing well. Like I said, I hope you are enjoying this Holy Week as we remember